Hey, Kev.
All right. I think we're all ready to rock and roll in place. It is now 7 o'clock. Give me about 1 second here. All right. Are you ready, sir?
Let's do it.
You ready to rock?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm Scott.
I'm Don.
And we're talking real estate. Look behind us, folks. The talking real estate thing is probably still backwards. I'm going to fix that right now because I don't know why it's always like that. So, Don, let me fix that first while you're talking.
Do you know how to do it?
Of course I know how to do it.
Okay.
Watch this. Look at that, buddy.
Got it.
Look at that. Now that's squared away.
All right. Looks good.
All right.
Looking good. All right. So let's rock and roll. Well, we got a good, exciting guest tonight.
So we do. Okay.
We're
Celebrity flipper, Forrest Ray. All right. The guy is, I don't know why he doesn't have a TV show yet, but it's coming soon. All right. Raise the roof for him. Not yet, though.
He was telling us some of his hunting stories and some exciting hunting stories, and we're trying to get him to do a podcast about that. Think you might do that someday, Forrest?
Possibly.
And they get the crowd. He's in the crowd right now. He's crowd surfing. All right. So
All right.
let's talk now. Let's go rundown. Give me the rundown what we're talking about
First
today.
of all, question of the week is...
The weirdest thing you ever rented. Okay, one of the things Forrest is going to talk about tonight is rentals and investment property, residential. What's the weirdest thing you ever rented? Okay, Don, I know the weirdest thing I ever rented. Do you remember?
Well, I think it was that trip a while back, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. We went to Oscoda, my buddy Bill Polk and I, and his truck broke down. We had a box truck to rent to get back from Oscoda from showings. Okay.
Do you have to have a CDL license?
No, you don't have a damn
All right.
CDL. That's ridiculous. Really?
I don't know.
So that's the weirdest thing I ever rented. Weirdest thing you ever rented, okay?
Yeah,
the
give us
winner
back some.
is going to get some sweet heat from Mitten Maid Pickling Company. Our good friend Ryan Looney. Mitten Maid Pickling. So sweet heat is what you're going to get. Top 2 best answers.
You know, that has something that I really like is habanero.
Habanero?
Oh, pineapple, mango, too.
I'm telling you, you're a
That
fruity,
sounds
you're a
like-
fruity kind of guy. That sounds about right for you.
Hey,
So we got the
wow.
question of the week out so far. Get the rundown, Don. Go ahead.
Market update, of course. We always have that. Our topic this week is something that a lot of agents are uncomfortable discussing, and we're going to kind of lightly touch on that. And
Yeah,
try to
they
get
don't
explain
touch it,
the other
okay? We always, like I said, one of our biggest things here we always tell you is we like to have fun. We want to give you good information, though. And this is something that you need to hear out loud.
And you need to know that.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely,
seriously.
absolutely.
Then, of course, City Spotlight.
Don't tell them what it is.
Okay.
Don't tell them. You're
Our
going to have to figure it out.
We already threw out who our guest is, and we're excited about that. Fan of the show, winner of the quiz, question of the week. Quiz,
Yeah.
not quiz, but question of the week. Started with a Q,
You're killing me.
and we'll announce the winner, and then we'll sum it up, wrap it up, and we'll say toodaloo till next week.
Toodaloo. I'm not saying toodaloo.
Toodaloo to next
So,
week.
Don, a couple things for you. People that are watching already, okay? We got... So, Ryan Looney, the owner of Mitten Maid Pickling Company, who may or may not be on the show next week, he's watching. So, Ryan, what's up? I'm telling you what, people have been talking about this all week. This and that. They want that Bloody Mary mix that I can't find on your website. So, working on that. We got Steve Kreitz, Steve Markey in the house. All kinds of crazy stuff going on. Even Julie Long has given up her not watching the show. She's no longer banning us.
Why was she banning us?
Because 6 feet, buddy.
Oh,
I know that's COVID for her is she's relaxing that up a little bit. So
all right, she's relaxing.
The fan of the show is going to be awesome
welcome
today
aboard,
too.
Julie. Yeah.
So let's talk market update. All right.
So we got some unusual stats that we haven't used before, have given out before.
Yeah. So
So
you have to think about this. We went a little wider with the stats this week for July. Okay, I want you to let these numbers settle in a little bit because it's going to highlight 2 things that we talk about a lot. Right, the lack of inventory out there and the pricing going up. Okay, so those 2 things. So Don, I'll start out with Wayne County. In Wayne County last month, there were 37% less listings. Think about that. 37. So
Yeah,
one
from
of
when? From when?
From that July to the previous July.
right, July
right?
2019 to July 20, it's down 37%.
Right. So if you had
Right.
3 listings, one house is going.
Yeah.
One house that's not happening
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. The sale price went up 17% from the previous year to 169,000. Now, again, that's all of Wayne County. Okay. So that number kind of is a little misleading. Tell me about Oakland
Oakland County listings from last July of 2019 to July of 2020, down 33%. Same thing. One out of
One
every
of three. I mean, it's crazy.
So there's 2/3 of the home on the market this year as opposed to last year.
Right.
The average sales price is $283,000, and that's up 7%.
So Wayne County was up more than Oakland, okay? Now let's talk Macomb. Macomb, 40% listings are down. So you see the pattern, 37% down, 33% down for Oakland, 40% for Macomb. So it means that people just are not listing. And people, I don't know what they're waiting for, buddy.
Yeah.
But the average sale price went up 11% to almost 200,000. So you're seeing anywhere from 10 to 17% increase, right? And then the amount of listings decreased like ridiculous. Now, the one outlier is Washtenaw. So give us Washtenaw.
Washtenaw County, the listings are down from July 2019 to 2020, only 5%. So
That's weird to me.
Yeah, we had some other numbers on that one. Anyways, the average sales price is $302.
Yep.
Saline just outside of Ann Arbor. It's like almost a suburb of Ann Arbor, maybe. And so the price is up from last year to this year of 5%, by only 5%. So
guys, the reason we went this route is we wanted to see a more general look, because we were always telling you the stats from just Colonel Oberski. We're a big player in the real estate market in the metro. We get that, but we wanted to give you a more broad perspective. And it's the same stuff we keep been talking about since freaking April, right?
Yeah.
That listings, if you want to list your house and get top dollar, now's the time to do it. That's one. Prices are up, but listings are down.
yeah.
Couple that with the interest rates. I've called, almost everybody I called in the last 2 weeks, just people to say hello and stuff. First thing I say is, hey, what's your mortgage at? Call your mortgage guy and try to refi, because it's under 3%. A lot of people are going to 15s, which is 2 and something.
Yeah.
2 and some change. I mean, like, guys, that's free money.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I dumped the money on Dodd's head for a reason last week, because it's free money, right? So that's the market update. Biggest things to take from it, listings are down. If you want to put your house on the market, you put it at a decent price, it's going to go, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So question of the week again. Question of the week. What is the weirdest thing that you have ever rented? I mean, think of all the things you rent. You rent skates. You rent bounce houses. Think of the weirdest thing you ever rented. The 2 best answers will be getting Sweet Heat from Mitten Maid Pickling Company. All right, that's what you'll be getting. So I'm kind of looking down, take up the slack, and kind of talk to folks, and I'm gonna see if I can find some good answers
All right.
here.
Well, you bring those out. Anybody any answers? I don't have any answers yet.
My buddy Steve Markey, I rented a house from a jerk named Scott Bergeron.
That might be a winner already. Let's call that a winner.
So Steve and I rented an apartment in Romulus together. So
Yeah.
yes, we did. This is true. That's true. Steve Kreitz has a bobcat to make a playground in the backyard for the kids. That's cool. What else? Let's see. I don't see any. Still waiting for more answers.
Right.
Everything else pretty general. What's the weirdest thing that you rented in your lifetime? What's the weirdest thing?
All right, so topic today is dual agency.
So, folks, here's why we decided to talk about this, because it's a very...
Brushed under the carpet.
Right.
Type of
It's
thing.
something that you don't hear about, and we want to give you the honest scoop on it. We're going to go in depth on some things. We don't want to be confusing, so we're going to kind of stick to 5 or 6 things. Okay? So, dual agency means that the listing agent is representing both the buyer and the seller. Okay? That's what they're doing.
Trying to,
right?
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
So let's talk about.
Well, let's contrast that to the typical transaction where the agent for a seller is not the agent for the buyer, and the buyer is represented by an agent, and the seller is represented by an agent. In a dual agency, it's the same agent. Is that agent representing one or the other?
Right. So let's start with the problems there, or the issues, the challenges, I should say. Right. Okay. The first one is confidentiality. If I am representing buyer and seller, okay, it's real hard to what they tell me I got to keep private, what they tell me I got to keep private. That's a really hard thing.
Right.
I mean, it's like you have to constantly be milling that in your head, going, I can't tell them about this. We can't talk about this. I can't tell them that they told me that they're having this kind of problem. They told me that they only got a couple more dollars to spend. It's really a lot of stuff you can't
keep it separate.
Right, you can't. It gets all jumbled up.
Yeah,
it's all jumbled up.
Which is which? And
I will tell you this.
You can't disclose.
Even when my ex-wife and I worked together, and we worked as a team, right? She would take. We've done it a couple of times. She would take one side, and I would take the other. It's still uncomfortable and weird.
Yeah.
Because you can't talk to each other.
Right.
I mean, so think about in your own head. It's like
Right.
I got enough voices talking up there. I don't need extra ones. Right.
Yeah. All right. So next up is The relationship, the agent, who did that agent have the relationship with first? Was it the seller? Was it the buyer? Typically, it's the seller.
Right, it's going to almost be always the
Yeah.
listing, right? Because
Yeah.
you're the listing agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you've been working with them for a while, and then you get a listing somewhere and say, "Hey, I got a buyer for this. Maybe this way." You know,
Yeah, it's possible, but
it's rare. It's rare.
typically their first allegiance is going to be to that seller because seller's paying, basically, right? I mean, I know there's some discrepancy there, but sellers 6% is coming out of the seller's money, so you're getting paid from them. So that makes it even tighter,
Yeah.
even more confusing and goofy, right?
It's more confusing, yes.
Right.
Yes, I can
What else you
agree
got?
with that. All right, price. Negotiating the price. The agent really can't help negotiate with the price for the seller or for the buyer.
Yeah. So like, think about this. So I know this client has a pre-approval for 300, okay, and I know that so they want to spend 260, right?
Right.
And I tell you, okay, let's do 255, and you're the other agent. That doesn't happen in the dual agency
It's
situation.
not supposed to.
How can it?
Well, you can't be disclosing personal information
Right.
in that situation. You know,
It's
so-
hard for me because I already
Right.
know what the listing the seller's bottom line is, right? I already know what that is.
Right.
And I can't tell the buyer that.
Right. Right.
But if I'm a buyer's agent and I'm talking to you, I can say, Don, how motivated are they?
Right.
And I can start asking questions to get some information out of you.
Right.
Out of a
What's
more
important?
now-
What's important to the
Right,
seller
right,
on
right,
the
right.
contract to
Right.
accept? Yeah.
So
for sure.
far, confidentiality is real hard when you're representing both sides. Okay. Agent relationship is hard to figure out whose agent relationship is more important. Okay. And then 3, negotiating price. It's hard to do. Okay. So what else you got?
So next thing is negotiating inspection issues. You know, you always, not always, but many times you have inspection issues that you have to deal with. And how do you handle that with the seller, from the buyer? You know, do you recommend a seller to do it or not do it, or come down on the price? They have to negotiate that out themselves.
Right, and it's like, so you can't even give advice. You can't go, well,
Right.
I think that's probably a thing you want to make sure to ask for, but this thing you shouldn't ask for. I'll give you an example. One this week, the Monday, we didn't really ask for hardly anything, but there was a crack in the basement wall, right? And it wasn't bad. It was sealed. I go, why don't we ask them to have a licensed contractor come take a look at that? That's not asking a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I couldn't have said that if I'm representing that listing
Right.
too.
Right. Right.
That's a weird thing.
Right. Right.
You know?
All right, so when you have one agent in, it's nice to have two agents, two sets of eyes. Is there like a little checks and balances in the transaction?
Well, okay,
where
so-
they can call that person out if there's something going on, or they don't feel like it's their parties being represented. When you're the only agent, that
Right,
doesn't
when two
happen.
people are going to get paid at the end of this thing, right?
Right.
So you're going, hey, Don, did that title work get ordered? You go, oh, okay, I'll take care of that. Or I go, hey, did you guys call the lender and check on the appraisal? It's two seasoned folks usually
Right.
that are looking and moving you forward.
Right.
Two folks that can guide the transaction through.
Two
When you
professionals.
don't, it's like, oh shit, I forgot that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's checks and balances. That's a perfect way to say it.
And I think that most transactions are between agents, two separate agents, a buyer's agent and a seller's agent. So this is this is rare that this happens, but it does happen in a small percentage of these. So it's not always a big concern, but if it's you in your house or you're buying it, then it is an issue.
Yeah, I mean, and the last thing, here's where there should be the kicker, the thing that makes you really think twice about having the list agent represent you as a buyer too. Okay, it's illegal in 8 states. Okay, it's illegal in Texas. It's illegal in Colorado. It's illegal in Florida. It's illegal. You're not allowed to do it at all.
Yeah.
So that's gonna tell you it's probably not a good idea. Okay? Now, I know we talked about this. Here's the caveat, all right? Because I've given this advice before to a family member. I gave this advice to. I said, look, there was a house that they had gone by, and it wasn't the market yet, but somehow they were looking in that sub or whatever, and they saw the agent coming out, and they asked him, when's it going up? And the guy's like, what's going up next week? So my advice to him was, tell an agent you can have both sides of it. Maybe he'll let you in, before everybody else gets into it. But once it hits that open market, then it doesn't help. Right? I mean, the only reason being is using that agent's want to make more money to maybe get yourself in. That's the only time you do that and that's the only house you want, the only place you want to live, like in very specific circumstances.
Right. Very unique.
Yeah. So let me get some shout outs real quick. We got Father Bob Johnson in the house. We got Billy Ferguson. Let's see. We got Kathy Cordy is here with us as always. Let's see. Terry LeBeau, Carrie Brander, all kinds of folks checking in today. What about you? Who do you got today?
My comments aren't showing up.
Uh-oh, that's not good. Technical difficulties.
One did, and no,
It's all
not,
disappeared.
So, yeah.
So now let me throw the question in
Still
again.
working at it.
What's the weirdest thing you ever rented in your life? What's the weirdest thing you've ever rented? So far, like I said, we got rented a house with me because I'm a big jerk, right? So that's one. A bobcat. Let's see what else we got here. Rented some roller skates. Okay.
Roller skates. How
Roller
about some ice
skates.
skates?
So again,
That'd be
in the
dangerous.
comments below, put what's the weirdest thing you've ever rented. You've ever rented in your life. Okay.
Bowling shoes.
Holy shit. Oh, Jesus.
I've rented ice skates before.
That's true. Ice skates are good. Ice
All right,
skates are
so
good.
let's
Can
move
you
on.
skate?
Yeah, ice skate. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Well.
but I didn't play hockey. Growing
Okay.
up, so.
Okay.
But there is a guest here that played hockey.
Telling you. All right. So let's talk City Spotlight. What's the City Spotlight, Don?
Saline, Michigan.
Celine. So Don and I kind of went round and round about this a little bit, but I was blown away by the Celine numbers. I will tell you a couple things. Victoria and Tom Droder, I sold a piece of property in Celine, and they built a beautiful house out there, like last year, a couple years ago. Gorgeous house. These numbers, I just look at them, kind of my head starts spinning around. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because you just don't. What you're going to hear from us, folks, you'll be shocked.
Yeah.
So,
We
Celine,
that's
tell
for sure.
us.
All right, so currently on the market, 68 properties. 68 properties on the market, 8 pending, only 8 are under contract. That's just an incredibly low number.
So,
and
folks,
great
understand,
ratio.
and we talked about this before, Don, that if your pendings are your highest number or you're sold, one of those two, it means houses are moving. Okay, 68 active and only 8 pending. So that tells me a couple things. There's something going on in Celine, one. Okay, there's something going on over there, one. And two, they have to have overpriced properties going out there.
I would think, but
A lot of
that
times-
many, that
Well,
seems
and here's the
kinda
thing.
high.
I was thinking about this too. Basically throw crap against the wall and see what sticks kind of pricing.
Maybe it hasn't caught up. The sellers haven't caught up to what the buyers are thinking.
Maybe, I guess. So give me some averages. Give me some average numbers.
So sold last year. Last 30 days, 12 homes sold. Change hands. So I mean, even that ratio is not huge. Average sales price is $321,000 for 1,827 square feet. So I mean, it's a pretty good price. It's a pricey market. It's a nice
you're
market.
kidding.
It's really like a summer
183
bottom.
square feet, you said? 183 bucks square?
$183 a square foot, yeah. And the average time on the market is 30 days. So that 68 and 8 active versus pending, are we seeing something, the beginning of something that might be coming down the road there, or maybe it's just an aberration right now?
So here's the thing. If you know anybody who's got their house listed in Celine, tell them to call us, the Price Busters. We'll break that price and get that thing sold. And that's crap. 60, now that would make me pull all the rest of my hair out. I don't have that much left.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, you don't.
Thanks, buddy. What a dick. He's been like this all week, you guys. He's been on my tail. He's been saying crappy things to me all
Salty,
week, all right?
man. It's
I know
salty.
it. It's ridiculous.
Crappy things. Come on.
Yeah.
It really is.
All right, so you got some newer comments. Here we go. So Kathy Cordy says a sod cutter. That's interesting. Okay. Used to rent VHS all the time. Don't even know what those are.
Oh, my
Josh,
gosh.
that's a good one.
Like
VHS.
that one.
Yep.
That's a winner.
Rented a mini motorcycle on her honeymoon in Bahamas, and the guy told Uncle Joe no charge. Really? If he took the bike and left me there. Wow. What the? That's a good one. That's a funny one. Let's see. Pat Deegan in the house. Was going to rent a tuxedo, but Scott quit wearing his, so I figured I'd look like a bum. Like him?
Who said that?
My buddy Steve. Steve Markey's all over me today. He's all over me today. All
Who's
right.
giving it to you? Too?
So we got some good ones so far. Guys, keep them coming. Again, what's the weirdest thing you ever rented? What's the weirdest thing you ever rented? So, all right. What do you think? You want to bring our guest in?
Yeah.
Before we do, though, real quick, as you can see, the Talking Real Estate shirt is going to go to a fan of the show today. So I have it here for you just because I wanted you to see it. Talking Real Estate. A couple little icons of Don and myself. So whoever's a fan of the show, this is what you're getting today. All right? Now clear the plate here for our man. Forrest Ray is in the house. Ready?
Forrest Ray. So So Forrest Ray's been a friend of mine for, man, what, 20 years or more? Probably more than 20 years. More
I
than
think
that.
it's closer to 30.
Yeah.
You have some
Yeah.
thick skin. If you're his friend for that long,
know.
you've got some thick skin, my friend. Because this guy, he's always poking at you all the time.
I got scars. I got scars.
He's like,
I
I
think
scars all over me. That's
was-
pretty good.
I think 1989,
Yeah, yeah.
1990.
I don't know, yeah.
And it's been a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, it has been.
Long time.
And Forrest is a good friend, and he's a nice skater. He plays hockey.
Yeah.
This guy still gets around. He's still nailing the hammer. I knew him from mortgages, and so he's been around the block. He knows a lot about real estate.
So there's an athletic supporter for you right there.
Exactly.
So Forrest,
Touche.
your biggest areas of expertise that we, from what I understand, is rentals, right?
Rentals.
And flipping. So we're going to kind of talk about those interchangeably a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So the first thing I want to ask is, tell us about your first rental property that you bought.
Well, the first property I bought was it was about 650 square foot.
Little bitty place.
Little bitty place.
Yep.
Crawl space, no garage.
What
One
city?
bath, 2 bedrooms, Lincoln Park.
Big part.
Okay.
In fact, I can still remember the address, but I won't bore you with it.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was 1979. And the market was a little strange because we had a lot of foreclosures at that time. Interest rates were 18, 19%.
Yeah.
There was nothing really selling on a new mortgage. You either paid cash or you bought it on a land contract.
Oh, wow.
And being a younger guy, that played right into my wheelhouse.
Yep.
Because I was able to save up some money and had some money to work with. And I bought that house for $19,000 with $1,500 down.
Yeah.
Okay.
On a land contract.
contract? Wow.
And at that time, you could only charge 11% on a land contract. So it was 6% or 5% below the market on a mortgage.
Yeah.
So I'm going off memory, which is dangerous.
Yeah. That is always dangerous.
But if you can remember that address,
I can remember that
pretty
address.
good.
So let me ask you this then. So are you still doing a lot of land contracts with folks now?
No,
Okay.
not. I will still buy them on a land contract.
Yeah.
If the opportunity presents itself and the down payment is right and the numbers are right, I will buy it on a land contract.
So what would be the advantage now?
It's just a quicker closing.
Okay.
And
Yep.
a lot of times in today's market, as you know, prices are up. But if I had a $100,000 house and I had to buy it as an investor and get a mortgage on it, I'd be required to put 25% down,
Yep.
which is $25,000 plus your repairs, so on and so forth. It can be pretty pricey.
Yeah.
Where if I have a person that'll take $10,000 down, even if I have to pay 8 or 10% interest rate, I'm still saving my cash on hand for other investments.
That's good. Yeah.
But back to the original property, the payment on it was like $174. And
Do you remember what you rented it for?
$395, right?
I get $200.
Right.
Man, he was killing it.
$395.
I think I invented cash flow. Right?
That's how long ago it was.
That's right. It was chiseled right there in the wheel.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so Forrest, say someone wants to flip a house. What are the 3 most important things you look at for that purpose?
So flippers, listen close right here.
Well, I would say price, price, and price.
Okay.
And not necessarily the price that you pay for it. Okay? Obviously, I want the price to be right where I buy it at.
Yep.
But then I want the price in as repaired condition to be right. And obviously, the price that I'm going to sell it for, the price net has to be right. After
right.
commissions,
Yep,
after
yep.
seller's concessions, after everything.
Right.
So I always called it price, price, price.
Right.
But other people
That's
might give
good.
it something else.
Yeah,
but I
no,
want
I
the
like
price
that.
to be right. I want the price in as repaired condition to be right. And I want my net price when I sell it to be right.
Right.
And that is the thing that I look for the most. The house is relevant as long as the numbers are right.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you work your way back from the net? Try to work it that way, or do you work at it while you got to take into consideration the price that's currently on the market, what you might throw into it? How do you? I mean,
I will work it both ways.
Okay.
Because, and it's a great question, because sometimes the price is a great price, and sometimes you don't have to put as much into it as you anticipated. You get into the house and you thought maybe it had a major plumbing problem.
Yeah.
And you cut out the wall behind the cabinet, and lo and behold, that's where it was blocked up, and it's a $20 or $50 fix.
Yep.
Right.
So now your game changes a little bit in your favor. So there are times I will work backwards, sometimes I'll work forwards, sometimes I'll just go round and round.
right?
You know.
Okay.
I got you.
Ooh,
So
that PPP, I like that.
So, what advice do you have for people that want to be landlords, people that want to buy rental properties? What kind of advice you got for them?
Well, the first thing I tell them is it is a business.
Yeah.
Don't forget it is a business, and your profit is in direct proportion to how you run it. Yeah. So if you're going to buy a property and you get a great price for it and you did some work on it and now you're going to rent it and you're going to have a nice cash flow on it and you choose the wrong tenant, you're losing money.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, like first time folks, I always, when they come to me bitching and screaming, that's the property, I got to get rid of this because you didn't screen. You didn't screen the tenant at all.
At all.
So like, what do you do when you screen? Like, well, how do you screen?
When I screen them, and because of my background, I have a little bit of an advantage, but everybody can do the same thing. The first thing I do is run a credit report.
Yep.
I run a background check. I talk to the previous landlord. There has been times that even when I have all those things, I'm not 100% sold on this person. I'll drive by the house that they live in now, and I'll knock on the door and tell them, I'd just like to see your place. I'm considering you for a tenant. I want to see how you take care of it.
Yeah.
So I always verify their income. I always do a debt to income ratio and make sure that they can afford the house. If they're only taking home $3,000 a month, they can't afford to pay you $2,000 in rent. So you gotta just stay with the numbers. I'm big on the numbers, whatever it is, price or rent.
So go back to those real quick for those things, those options real quick. I mean, short change it for me. Like debt to income ratio, what else?
Debt to income ratio,
Yep.
credit,
Yep.
previous rent history,
Yep.
background check,
Yep.
and I will go by their house if I don't have a good feeling about the rest of it. If he's batting a 750 credit score, he's got a great job, he's been here a number of years, his debt to income is excellent, his background check is good, I'm not driving by his place.
Yeah, but folks, so those are solid goal things. Like I know you two have you have lots of landlords that you know that buy properties from. I haven't heard those 5 items locked together. I mean, that's solid gold. So if you're thinking about becoming a landlord, you got to rewind this back and listen to that again.
Yeah, that's gold there. I do have people that I work with that are landlords, and they usually have like 1 or 2 things that they really focus on. It's either credit score or their income. To have
you're taking
all
to a
5
great
of them,
level,
but his experience in the mortgage business, he sees things. He can look at a credit report and read it like nobody can read.
Right.
He'll see things inside a credit report that the buyer doesn't even know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinking, how the heck did you figure that out? We've done business for a long time, so
Yeah.
I know him. All right, so what are the biggest challenges you've run into rental properties? And then we'll talk about flipping properties. But what are the biggest challenges you find in renting?
The biggest challenges in renting are the tenants and taking care of the property.
Okay.
You know, in today's world, we have a lot of pets and a lot of support pets and dogs.
Yep.
I'm not really a big fan of renting to people with pets, but I've had to adjust to it. So I've had to adjust a little bit on whom I'm accepting into the home or into the apartment or unit. So that's been a little bit of a challenge. Tenants themselves, if I screen them well, if I do my background checks, and I follow up with all my due diligence, I don't have a big problem with them paying rent.
Right.
My biggest hurdle is if they get a dog and they weren't supposed to.
Right.
Or if they're not taking care of the property and they've got maybe a junk vehicle out there. Things like that. Enforcing things on the lease to the tenant is probably my biggest hurdle on rentals. Sometimes city inspections can be a challenge because you have a person already living in the house. And to get into the house to do those repairs becomes a little cumbersome. The tenant doesn't want you there. The city does. I don't really want to be there.
Yeah.
And
you don't want them there either.
And I want, I want it all to be fixed and right. For the tenant.
I got you. Okay.
But if you're looking at flip houses, the biggest challenge I have with flip houses is finding them fast enough.
Yeah.
Because I can flip a house really quickly with my experience and my list of contractors that I've worked with for years.
Yeah.
So my biggest challenge is finding enough of them.
So like, where would you look now?
Right now, I stay kind of in the price point that I like, which is typically in the 1,000 square foot home. I'm a big fan of 750 square foot to maybe 1,100. I like the rock solid 3-bedroom, 1-bath, basement, garage or no garage. I kind of stay into that circle because that's where I've cut my teeth.
Yeah.
Very seldom do I go higher. Occasionally I've bought higher or bought into a bigger price range, but you got to just be a little more careful with it.
All right, so let me ask you this one. So in the current market, flipping is tougher, yes?
People have asked me that.
Yeah.
And it's a little tougher because inventory is low.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
finding the houses are tougher.
Yeah.
The numbers are always just the numbers. If it doesn't matter if the house is 50 grand or it's 200 grand, if the profit percentage makes sense, you can do it and you can find it. There's houses out there right now that I've passed on recently that would have been better house, would have been great deals because the market went up. Wayne County, you just said it,
Yeah.
17%.
Right.
Yeah.
The house didn't make sense in December, but in April,
And all of a
it
sudden
made
they're
sense
like, whoa.
because now I got another 17% out of it.
Yeah.
So there's always opportunity out there. It's just a matter of finding it and looking at it different. You have a hard time adjusting when the prices go up mentally. But if you put it on paper, you can figure it out.
Right.
I got you.
Yeah, I got to admit, they had from December to this year,
Right.
huge difference. Huge difference.
So let me ask you one last question. So, what are some of the tricks of the trade that you picked up? You already gave us a couple. Maybe just two. How about that?
Well, I'll give you a real quick one.
Yeah.
Never rent to the guy that shows up with all the cash and wants to rent it right then and there. Because if you go outside, all this stuff's in his trunk.
Yeah.
Okay? And
Somebody
someone else
coming-
just
yeah, somebody threw his ass out. Like, you're out of here.
Because if he's that anxious to get in,
Yeah.
he's a problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
urgency's always going to do that to you then?
Urgency will do that 90% of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason they want in so quickly.
Yeah.
That
Because
would
they
probably
got
be
nowhere
my-
else to
Nowhere to
go.
go.
Right. And no one else will rent to them. But
Hey, so we have this thing at the end of with our guest and with us. It's called The Story from the Road. Is there anything that you've come across that's just kind of crazy, outlandish, either in a flip or in a house you bought, or just some experience you had in the real estate? Because you've got a lot of experience in the real estate field. Anything that you would think that the guy that our
I'll
veterans
tell you
would be interested in?
a story.
I love stories. That's
It
my
was-
favorite. Storytelling's always a favorite one.
It's a funny story. It wasn't at the time. I think it took about 5 years off my life. Right? I used to
How
have
long
a
before you
4-head.
came
Now I have a 5-head
He's
because of
like,
it.
yeah.
Right? I bought this little house, 800 square foot, full basement, no garage. It was an elderly woman that had went to a nursing home,
Yeah.
and she had lived there 60 years. Okay, you can get the picture.
Yeah.
It's old inside. It's kind of dark and gloomy. Actually had the steel sink and cabinets and everything. I bought it. I got a great price on it. I was excited to have it, right? And I was feeling pretty good on it. I could paint it up, clean it up. I'm going to make a nice profit. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a single. This is going to be a triple.
Yeah.
Solid double.
Yeah.
And
This is going to go bad. This is going to go, like he's building up, it's going to go bad real
it's a
quick.
good one. So I closed on the house and everything, and I'm laying in bed, and I'm watching the news because I'd watch 11 o'clock news. And lo and behold, they had shot up the high-rise senior apartment building right across the street, and the woman doing the reporting for Channel 2 Action News is standing on my lawn,
Oh,
right?
Jesus.
And she's talking about how one of the tenants went berserk and shot 2 or 3 people, and I'm
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
I'm looking at my house there with the lady on the lawn that's talking about they shot 3 people. I'm like, oh my God. But luck was shining down on me. I sold it about a week later.
Oh, gee, you're like, I got to get rid of that bullshit. Oh, my God.
But that
That's
was-
a good story.
It was,
That's-
trust me, I was really nervous.
He's
on
like,
that one.
So now let me give a couple shout outs
my
real
house.
quick. Let me give a couple shout outs real quick. Let's go. Jason Bankston's in the house. We got Danny Evans, my good dear friend. Mark Treboniak, Lee Temple's here, and all kinds of people in the house today watching. So that's good stuff. Before we do fan of the show, I want to throw the question out one more time. We're getting a lot of good stuff, guys. We're getting some good things. Somebody said I bought a house, or said I had bought, or where the heck did that one go? I not rented, but paid flood insurance until the great Scotty B helped me out with the flood insurance. So all kinds of. What's the weirdest thing you ever rented? It's your last go around for that. What's the weirdest thing you ever rented? All right. So that's the question. What is the weirdest thing you ever rented? There she is, Lisa. How are you? How you doing, kiddo? We see ya. So fan of the show, gentlemen. I'll announce it if you give me a little drum roll. The fan of the show is Lisa from Mimi's Mission. You are a fan of the show, lady. How the heck are you? We're going to get a t-shirt for you and everything. So it's going to be awesome. So let's get some Lisas in there.
Lisa.
Wait, we're not getting the action here. So here's what happens, all right? When we see if it's a fan of the show, we want to make them feel good. We want to make them feel like they're part of something, a community. So here's what I want. We're going to start chanting Lisa. In the comments, you're going to start chanting Lisa. Are you ready? Lisa, 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 Lisa. Woo, woo, woo. Kiddo, I'm going to be dropping off a shirt from Impact Outfitters for you that says Talking Real Estate. So there's that. All right? So, Lisa, you are the fan of the show. Very nice. Now, Don, a couple things.
All right, Forrest's going to help us with this winner.
We're going to confer on this for a minute.
Throw a few of them out there.
All right, so I like this one. Mini cycle with the honeymoon Bahamas. I like that one. What do you think on that?
Mini motorcycle.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And then,
Show Forrest that one there.
so here's what we got.
Oh, you got to put his glasses
Gotta
on.
You put the glasses on.
I'm old.
The guy told him, no charge. Leave the woman. I'll take the bike. That's pretty good. So I thought that one was good. What about one more? Folks, this is a hard work today. We got all kinds of good things. How about that one? I ran in the house with the jerky and Scott Burger.
I thought that was good.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. So that one's on there. All right. All right. So we have two winners of the Sweet Heat from Mitten Maid Pickling Company, Ryan Looney. We had two winners. All right. First is the wonderfully charming Steve Markey, who he said his rental was, I rented a house with a jerk named Scott Bergeron. So that's the first winner. Steve Markey, you win.
that?
Sweet Heat, buddy. You're
I think I know that guy.
And second, this one was this was a little
is an
crazy.
interesting one.
This one's way in. So it says, I rented a mini motorcycle on our honeymoon in the Bahamas. Okay, and the guy told your Uncle Joe no charge if he took the bike and left me there. So take the bike, leave the woman. So Chris Wojcinski, you win. Sweet Heat barbecue sauce from Mitten Maid Pickling Company. Guys, remember, Mitten Maid Pickling Company's owner, Ryan Looney's going to be there next week. He's going to cook up some stuff for us. He's going to make up some stuff, give you some recipes
really
for.
gonna be here?
Yeah, he's going to be here.
Okay.
So he's going to give us some recipes for Labor Day weekend. You know what I mean? Don, give us a quick sum up, would you?
So going back, is Chris still in the Bahamas?
She is not in the Bahamas. She's back. That
She
was
came
all.
back? She
Yeah,
didn't stay?
they got married a long time ago, buddy.
Okay, so she didn't stay. Okay.
Oh, she's not in the Bahamas
I
anymore.
didn't know she was
She's
calling
not-
from the Bahamas.
We absolutely love all the great stories and interaction with you guys. We really do. That's why we created Fan of the Show and Question of the Show. So next week, it's going to be interesting what Ryan's going to give away. We'll see what he has for us. But the giveaways are always going to keep getting better. Okay?
All right.
So give us a
wrap
quick
it up.
wrap up.
We did our market update. Our question of the week was weirdest thing you've rented, which we've gone over. Our top topic was dual agency.
Dual agency, don't do it.
City Spotlight, Saline, Michigan.
Which has all kinds of house on the market.
Our special guest, Forrest Ray.
Forrest Ray, listen.
Thank you, Forrest.
We're going to cut his interview up and put that separate too because we want you to see that. He has a ton. He just dropped a bunch of gems your way.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about being a landlord or a flipper, Forrest Ray's the man. Go back through and rewatch this again, okay? And then fan of the show is Lisa. Okay,
Lisa.
Right? And then the winner of the question of the show is Chris Wojcinski. Guys, this has been an absolute awesome show for us. We're glad you're here.
Glad
all right?
to be here.
We're
Thanks,
glad.
Forrest.
So we're going to have him back for some other things, but ready to do it?
Yep.
I'm Scott.
I'm Don.
I'm Forrest.
And we're talking real estate. See ya.